Okay, so the failover, ASA failover, how we can configure. So let's just understand the concept of ASA failover. So ASA failover, ASA support two types of failover, active and standby, where mean the traffic is passing from the active firewall and the standby is waiting something to happen and taking this over. So standby unit is just waiting. Active, both units forward the traffic at the same time, only support in the multiple context mode. Okay, different contexts active in the different units. Okay.
Like load balancing.
No, it's not load. Yeah. Yes, you can say yes. Somehow. Yeah. Okay. So failover active standby. In an active standby mode of the operation, one of the firewall unit is failover pair is assigned to the active role, handling all the traffic and security functions. The other firewall unit is the pair remain in the standby mode, waiting to automatically take over all the traffic in the event of failure. So we have two type of role, primary and secondary. So a state, the role can be primary and secondary, and what are the state? Active and standby. The primary unit always become the active unit if both units start up at the same time, okay, and or for equal operation health. The primary unit MAC address is always coupled with the active IP address. The exception of this rule occur when the secondary unit is active and cannot obtain the primary MAC address over the failover. In this link, the active unit is determined by these conditions. If both the units boots at the same time and detect peer already operative as active, it becomes the secondary unit. If a unit boots and does not detect a peer, it becomes the active unit. If both units simultaneously came up, the primary unit become the active and the secondary unit become the standby unit. So when you see the configuration, you will see that. So stateless, there are two types of failover. Stateless failover, connection tables not copied from the active to the standby firewall. So look at the diagram right now. We have the two units here. So first of all, the requirement point of view, hardware point of view, software point of view, and the licensing point of view, they must be same and equal. They must be equal. I mean, if there is a 5510 and the other device is 5505 or 5515, the failover will never work. So in order to enable the failover, both of the unit must have the same hardware and software at the same time. Okay, so basically all the units. So what is this show connection? Remember, these are the connections we had when we initiated traffic from here. So let's say I Google anything, or I can go to Hotmail, Instagram, PayPal, or any of these websites. You will see our connection. So you see this connection table. There is a complete connection table. Okay, in the stateless firewall, in the stateless failover, connection table is not copying from the active to standby. Means these connection will only be visible on the primary firewall and not on the standby firewall. Okay, so which means the connection need to be re-established. All connection dropped and must be re-established. Default mode. This is the default mode. The stateful failover is actually active unit constantly replicate the state table from the primary to the backup. So the idea is, if the connection is dropped, maybe one firewall failover, the other you don't need to re-establish the connection again. Okay, so required dedicated stateful failover link. So you need a separate failover link, or you can make the same link as a failover. So this is the configuration on the primary. Once you log in, what you can do on the primary, for example, first of all, you need to have a console on both the devices. The configuration is already configured. We have already done that. Failover LAN unit primary. You log into the primary device. Failover LAN interface. This is the device. This is the failover. You know, like when we configure the interface, we also assign the name as well, like name if command with the DMZ inside, outside, something like that. And we are defining which link is the failover link. Then we are assigning the IP address for this link. Okay, this can be any unused IP because we don't advertise, we don't use this IP. It's just for the layer 3 connectivity. And then we say interface, whatever the interface you are doing, and no shut, and do the failover at the end. Okay, so we configure this on the primary. After the configuration of the primary, we go into the secondary device, and what we do is, first of all, the interface, both the interfaces. So both these firewall, let's say they are directly connecting to E03 on the both side. And this is as per you shown here in the diagram. Okay, clear? So configuration, all the configuration is on the primary. The secondary device is actually totally blank, no configuration at all. Optional configuration, failover link. You can also define the failover link as well. Failover key, you can define the failover key. You can monitor the interface as well. So let's just configure it. So this is the primary unit. Let me just go into the console right now. I have a console server here. Okay, I'm opening 2 sessions with the console. This is my ASA. Now I logged into the console now. So the same device, but this is the console connection. ASA2. So you see this configuration, show interface IP brief. Everything is down, nothing. Okay, this E03 and this device E03. They are directly connecting to each other. So you see this E03 is in the shutdown state and both sides are. So this configuration, this firewall has a blank configuration. We have not configured anything. This is just a look like, nothing. Everything is blank actually. We have not even assigned the name or anything. Configuration will be replicated from the primary firewall. Okay, before I do that, I just want to make sure one thing. I just want to put a rule on the top. Copy. Copy and paste. I'm just putting one rule actually.
This week, like,
okay, I'm just putting one rule. Let me just see. Okay, so you can see my ping is working. Okay, so the ping is working, and I'm not sure the ping is working from the desktop machine. Why I'm doing the ping actually, because I just want to show you something. So normally the ping is not allowed from the firewall. Its ping is not working, but let me just do one thing. We have a policy map. Sorry. I'm just changing the policy map so I can inspect because normally ICMP traffic is not allowed by default. Firewall does not inspect the traffic, so I just allowed that traffic. Yeah, now you can see the ping is working. Okay, so by default, Cisco firewall does not allow the traffic to pass through from it. So now we just change the behavior. Actually, we are saying the Cisco firewall inspect the ICMP. And we also have a rule as well, just to make sure that the ICMP is allowed. So you see this traffic is allowed for any to any destination, ICMP is allowed. Okay, why I have done that, so I just want to show you that how many packets are dropped actually when we fail over. Okay, let's start the configuration. What is the configuration we have here? That's my primary. Okay, that's my. Okay. So failover LAN unit. I'm defining a unit. Unit can be primary or secondary. Okay, failover. Sorry. Failover. Okay, failover. You can see the failover LAN interface. Interface using interface FOLINK Ethernet. Okay, so show run failover. So what we have done so far, we have not enabled failover yet. We're just defining that this unit will be as a primary, and the failover LAN interface F4 link. This is the defined interface we have, Ethernet E03. Now failover interface IP FOLINK failover link 1.1.1.1. Standby 2. So far we have done failover LAN unit. We are saying that Ethernet 03 will be used as a failover link. Okay, and failover LAN interface, we are assigning the IP address to it. Okay, and then I'm going into the Ethernet interface. And I'm saying no shut. Okay. On the secondary device, that's my secondary device, guys. Have a look. Interface Ethernet 0. No shut. And I'm saying failover LAN interface. Secondary failover interface IP, same command. The only difference is okay. So we are defining every command is the same. If you look at the commands, actually, with the command perspective, every command is the same. The only difference is the primary will be saying as a primary, and this will be defining as a secondary. Everything is the same. If you want to use the key, this is an optional. Okay. Okay, now at the end on the primary side, I'm just defining failover. Wait. One problem. Show mode. This is a single mode. And this is the mode single. Okay. So this is a problem we have because our firewall is not compatible. As I told you, if the firewall is not compatible with regard to software, hardware, or other configuration, the failover will never come up. So because the one firewall is in the single mode, another firewall is in the multiple mode. So what we done is we have just changed the mode from single to multiple. Anybody knows what you mean by single and multiple mode? Single and multiple mode, please. The context actually. Remember? Yeah, the context.
Multi-context.
Yeah. Multiple context. So the firewall is booting right now. And once it's come back, we may be configuring it again. The primary is already configured.
Single is one file, multiple is having virtual firewalls.
Yeah. Oh, what happened? Why this is going in round and round actually? Oh, what happened? No images found? No way. Oh, no.